Hello, my name is Casey Sapp. I am with VRTUL, or you can also find us at blueringimaging.com. We are developing a series of immersive interfaces for unmanned vehicles to provide enhanced situational awareness and perform battle space management. These interfaces are useful for one-to-one control, one-to-many oversight, as well as many-to-many applications. And we're currently focused on the subsurface environment and maritime and moving into all domains. The app we've developed is called OctoView, and it connects to the control system so that we can get camera, sonar, telemetry information and remap that into a 3D environment. We also have developed, as a small part of our company, a piece of multi-view hardware so to perform 360 situational awareness on ROVs and USVs. We have a few different SBIRs with ONR, PMS 408. We just completed an AFWorks, OpNav N2N6, and we're actively getting involved in the commercial sector, specifically oil and gas as we speak, where these vehicles really need a lot more situational awareness to perform tasks. The thesis of the business was validated through an SBIR phase 2 with EOD PMS 408, where we have developed this multi-view camera and with the OctoCam and implemented the app OctoView onto video array defenders. And we went out and performed a series of experiments and tests to see how intuitive it was to perform these tasks and if there was value and benefit in certain parts of the mission set to wear a headset. We've solved the nausea problem. We've been able to ruggedize some of these headsets so that they can be used outside. And so what we did over even before the SBIR through academic research, collaborated with Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, is we sent them on a series of tasks to, for example, to go grab something with a robotic manipulator on the ROV. And what we saw is that with both new and experienced operators, the task time was decreased by half. And so that's one example of many in the survey, inspection, robotic manipulation space, where this is just extraordinarily valuable as a tool for these operators and teams. What we've seen at both an individual and at a corporate level is through academic research over the last 5 years, even before the SBIR phase 2 kicked in, that we've been able to quantify some of the metrics which are important to us and why we see the headset being so valuable. Decreasing task completion times, simplifying complex tasks, decreasing cognitive load, and then also increasing the usability, joy, satisfaction of the operator experience, because in a lot of ways we're gamifying this experience for an operator, which for the younger generation is something that they're used to, playing video games, using Xbox controllers. And we're using the same game engine as is used for traditional video games. We're connecting this to the control system, displaying these streams, and providing visual markers and doing visually aided navigation, where once again, it feels like a game. We're actively focused on all domains of unmanned vehicles, and we see this OctoView as being really a universal interface and universal abstraction layer for all control systems, subsurface, maritime, ground, and aerial. However, through this SBIR phase 2 and what we've demonstrated with the ROV EOD operator, we're actively working with Green Sea, SRS, Deep Trekker, Blue Robotics, a number of the subsurface control systems where prosumer to professional grade tasks are being done, where there is high complexity, there's a lot at stake, and just a marginal amount of situational awareness can mean all the difference in doing something which is very time, resource, and cognitively intensive. So we're looking at the Video Ray Defender Saab size vehicles all the way up to oceaneering and full ocean depth class vehicles. So how does it all work? Like I said, we have software in OctoView and a multi-view camera in the OctoCam. The software is vehicle agnostic, control system agnostic, sensor agnostic, and we develop a series of templated plug-and-play interfaces which can be connected to the video for operators and teams. And then the camera can be in the loop and can be installed as a peripheral to these vehicles. So we'll take any ROV or any unmanned vehicle, and if we have the OctoCam in the loop, we can perform image enhancement, stitching, ATR, embedded on the camera, do the hardware acceleration of all of the camera sonar telemetry into the headset, and then display those interfaces to the operator on a boat in a remote operations or mission control room. And that all that is needed is really, like I said, a headset, an Ethernet port, and access to those streams in order to get up and running with the app. So as I said before, Blue Ring Imaging or VRTUL is really providing interfaces as a service and multimodal interactions as a service, which is the gesture, the voice, the eye tracking. And there's even some chat GPT applications that we're looking at where you can have a conversation with the vehicle and command it through that conversation to go and perform behaviors or tasks. And so what we've done is we've developed a kit, which is really the headset. It's a cable. It connects through Ethernet or a UDP port to the control system compute device, whatever that may look like. And then we're up and running. It's pretty lightweight. We are trying to make it as low cost and massively deployable as we can, as we see the opportunity, not just in one-to-one control, but one-to-many and many-to-many. So the solution is TRL6 because we've only been in a very specific amount of environments testing this. And we just need to do more experimentation in different environments to be able to confidently say that it's a ruggedized TRL9. So what is the current status of our phase 2 with PMS 408? We're currently going into the final year, the option 2, where we're finishing up the camera configuration and some of the embedded components that make up the OctoCam. And we have the OctoView being used actively on Video Ray Defenders to perform tasks and experimentation. For the reasons of these headsets evolving so rapidly that we can't currently commit to an AR or VR headset for 3 to 5 years, we are going to go into a phase 2.5 with OctoView with PMS 408. And then the goal is the OctoCam will be deployed for Messer Increment 2 in order to do ATR and provide situational awareness just on traditional 2D conventional displays. So OctoCam is a little bit ahead, and OctoView is coming up, but it's actually starting to get distribution and traction in the commercial sector, which will continuously inform our ability to build a customer base and meet needs in the DoD. We believe that OctoView is applicable and valuable to every domain of unmanned vehicle, every operator, every team, and it humanizes the unmanned vehicle control experience. And we're currently focused on the Messer Inc. program of record. We're actively exploring working as a payload or peripheral with control systems with BAE, Lockheed, Raytheon, L3, and we are actively trying to pursue contacts and opportunities with SOCOM, MARSOC, and the oil and gas sector. Any introductions, any demonstrations, we're very excited to talk with people, and it's way easier to show than it is to tell. We have a simulation environment. The second that you put it on, it makes sense. So here I am trying to explain a 3D world with 2D slides, but it's the best that I can do in the current environment that we're in. Our business model for OctaView, as I said earlier, is interfaces and multimodal interactions as a service. So what that means is we're putting together a license, which can be perpetual, and through this install that's connected to the control system, there are seats which can be deployed across an entire fleet, both as the pilot license or as an observer license, where participants, supervisors, executives, collaborative team members can see the same interfaces and manipulate their visualization environment separately. The Octocam, the piece of multi-view camera hardware, that's just being sold for what we're trying to provide for 300-meter depth rating at about $10,000. Happy to reach out and talk more about both, but our goal is to work with the control system so that it can be deployed, distributed, and supported at a fleet scale, so that we're working not just on, like I said, one-to-one situational awareness opportunities, but large-scale battle space management opportunities. This slide is a little outdated at this point, but the goal with OctaView is that we're trying to deploy with control systems at a fleet scale, integrating multimodal interactions to improve the human factor side of the pilot experience. We believe that control systems really focus on the vehicle, and there's an opportunity to really focus on the user. And OctaView and Blue Ring are very user-centric in the interfaces and user experience that we're developing, which we want the control systems, as I said, to license. And with that, we can integrate more 3D models, ATR, and digital twins that can synthetically overlay and be represented in this physical environment as they're controlling the vehicle. Think of the F-35 helmet and that augmented reality helmet, which these pilots are wearing. And if you've seen any information around what that provides to the pilot, which Collins Aerospace is making, we're trying to do that at a much lower price point at scale for all crewed and specifically uncrewed vehicles. And with that, we're also providing better simulators for training and getting these operators up to speed on complex tasks before they go out into the world to perform them. If you'd like to reach me, my email is here, casey@vrtul.co. You can also reach me at casey@blueringimaging.com. And the most relevant information is at www.blueringimaging.com. Our headquarters is in St. Pete, where I currently live, and I constantly travel to Washington, D.C. and the West Coast, meeting with some of our clients and doing prototyping experimentation. Would love to show you our simulator and talk about some of the applications of AR and VR in an operational environment. Thanks, and hope to meet with you soon.